The prophecy foretold of a warrior destined to fulfill his promise of dispelling the most common myths of the fitness industry and sharing his knowledge of unlocking the secrets of the universe and how to get big arms. The question that has baffled scientists for centuries, the most well sought after fitness information of all time. Monks in the mountains would often isolate themselves from humanity for years on end, meditating, whilst in search for the ultimate knowledge that could change the course of mankind forever. The question in question is how to actually get big arms. Most fitness trainees, males mostly, at some point during their careers had always either wondered or wanted to find out the perfect routine or exercise that could give them a few extra centimeters of girth, on their arms that is, and had often been met with somewhat less than average returns for their investments. Partly in the fact that information pertaining to getting big arms is at the same time oversaturated and also can be confusing, sprinkling in the fact that in today's age, everyone is looking for that shortcut, that get-rich-quick scheme, and the fitness world being no exception. The information I'm going to outline here is mostly directed towards natural drug-free lifters, as their enhanced counterparts can typically get away with deviating from whatever diet or routine plan they usually follow, as is mostly the case. Trainees ranging from beginners all the way to advanced have at some point, or even yet still, shared this in common, and that is deviation from the tried and tested compound movements that elicit the most amount of stimulation of your muscle mass in favor of workout routines that focus mostly on just isolating single muscle groups in these single joint patterns. Think of bicep curls and tricep pushdowns. These exercises are, to be fair, absolutely amazing, as is most isolation exercises for building the aforementioned muscle group, but the problem that these trainees do is they view these isolation exercises as a primary means to an end, a sort of main movement pattern that's going to give them the most amount of gains. And this is where they go wrong. The reason it's wrong is the vast majority of isolation exercises are supplementary exercises. Keyword, supplementary. That means that these exercises should be used to further stimulate whatever muscle group is the case, only after it has been adequately stimulated through the already proven compound movements that stood the test of time throughout bodybuilding's history. People have to stop deviating from compound movements in favor of isolation, and it's understandable why they do that. Compound movements require a lot of exertion, grit, and willingness to complete, as they recruit a lot more of muscle groups, which in turn creates more overall body fatigue. But this is a good thing. By making sure that you actually start your workouts with compound movements that put the most amount of strain on the targeted muscle groups you want to grow, you're going to elicit a hell of a lot more stimulus to that muscle group, which is going to force the body from an evolutionary perspective to view this as, okay, this is getting really serious. If I don't grow these muscle groups from all this exertion that's going on right now, I'm going to die. And as such, it's going to focus using the building blocks it receives to actually grow. This is the key most people are missing. If you're someone who starts their workout off with isolation moves, you're doing yourself a huge disservice, as by the time you're done with them, you'll be too tired to actually reap the benefits from the compounds the way you normally would if you started off with them first. So, just something to keep in mind, really. So let's get back to the root of the question. How do we actually structure our workout if our plan for the next few weeks or months or even years is primarily to have big arms? The focus has to be on picking, for the most part, one, vertical pulling movement, my preference being the chin-up. This is a pull-up with a supinated grip, and a horizontal pulling movement such as the row with a narrow grip that's going to put more strain on the biceps and the much forgotten brachialis muscle. And for the vertical pushing movement, this can be something like a close grip bench, or if you're more into calisthenics, the dip, for example, and a vertical push move like the overhead press or handstand push-up with, again, an emphasis on the close grip or the narrow grip. By choosing to start off your workouts with these exercises, and in addition to that, making the bulk of your routine length consisting of them, you will finally be creating the necessary stimulus required to actually start seeing some new growth spurts you've been waiting for. Rep ranges and sets all vary depending on your fitness level, so simply just adjust accordingly. But make the focus on increasing the weight of the movements over time. It doesn't matter what rep range that is for, as long as you're just simply progressing over time and getting stronger in the numbers. Once you're sufficiently gassed out by the compounds, only then does it make sense to incorporate back some isolation to finish the workout off with some banger drop sets. This is how it's done, and the reason for this is very simple. Think of your body as one unit, one that wants to grow equally all across the body. Why would the body feel like growing just one small part of it if its main function is to be one unit? Think of this in evolutionary logic. By creating stimulus all over the body, it's receiving greater signals that there is a need to adapt in terms of more strength and size, as opposed to stimulus in just one area of the body. This is the key to growing as a drug-free lifter. Regardless if you're following a full body workout, a split routine like push-pull legs or body part split, make the compounds a priority every single time, and make sure as time goes on that there is some form of progression going on, either by adding weight, less rest between sets, or more reps, or more frequency, you name it, and you'll be damn sure to see what I'm on about. Using this logic does not have to be limited to just arms, of course. You can use it for any body part, so feel free to always think outside of the box. So until next time, please make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you.